Hey there, coaches. My name's Rich Hargitt. I'm the head football coach at Emmett High School, and I'm also the lead consultant for the surface to air system. If you have questions after you watch this video, please put them in that comment section, and we'll be more than excited to get back to you on that as soon as we can. Also, if it'd be great if you would like this video and also subscribe to our channel. Just helps us get our content out there and reach more coaches and help them out a little bit. So really excited to share with you this Super Bowl weekend video. What we're looking at here, and I think it was really cool because if the 49ers or the Rams won, I think it was really cool because I really like studying both offenses. I know a lot of people do. The big thing for me is when people get all kind of excited about Sean McVay style football. I think that's awesome. I think it's cool. I think they do a tremendous amount of things. But I think one thing we have to keep in mind, most of you watching this video are probably high school football coaches. Not all, but most. And I don't have Cooper Kupp. And I know people are going to say, well, he played at a high school in Washington and went to Eastern Washington and that whole thing. Like, I get it. But Cooper's Kupp is still better than 95% of the people that play football at my school ever could potentially be. So he's still a dude. There's just some really good players, obviously, on that football field this weekend. So I don't have the guys to do all that stuff, and I'm certainly not going to sit here and say that what we're doing in S2A is what the LA Rams do. But I will say this, and that's the purpose of this video. I've kind of pieced together over the years a few really cool things you can do with some of these compressed sets. And it is inspired by things I have watched the LA Rams do. Okay. So been watching McVay ever since he became a head coach. And what I really think we do a good job of in S2A is taking little nuggets of information and processing and then really synthesizing those and putting them into a usable framework. So without further ado, I'm going to give you a few things that I think the average high school offense could borrow from what the Rams do really, really well. So let's start really easy. And there's a bunch of different things that we could highlight here. For the sake of simplicity, we're just going to really say that we're seeing a 8-man front even defense here. Because I don't want to, get off narrative and have 58 different defenses here. But the first thing we could really point out that I think is really cool that the average high school offense could take from the Rams is compressed sets, what we call squeeze sets. This fall, my H receiver right there is going to be a dude. Okay. He's going to be one of our best players. So we certainly want to get him the ball in a wide variety of ways. Somebody's asked me before, why are compressed sets so good? Well, here's what I think. You've got more route distribution when the receiver is closer to the box. He can do more things. He can cross from one side of the formation to the other. He can go deep inside, deep outside, vertical underneath. There's more things he can do. I am not a fan of being in compressed sets 100% of the time. I think sometimes they can be overutilized like anything else, but mixing them into the DNA of your high school offense, I think, is a really, really good idea. So there's one thing you can get from the Rams, simply put, is using compressed sets. The next one is quick or jet motion. Go ahead and flying that guy across the ball. Really like that. Okay. So the Rams are good at that. They run a lot of jet sweep stuff. Well, here's what we've done. Instead of taking him on that path, we bring our guy in motion. And just as he gets to the guard, we'll snap the ball and he'll come down and he will chip. He will actually be that tight end type player now. He will chip and he will build into the flat. And we will bring a fake across the ball and we will set 5 hats over and be in what we would call a 6.5 man protection or a 6.5 protection. So now it looks sort of like split zone. It looks kind of like fly sweep. It's got some different narratives to it. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to run what we would consider to be Y cross. So we're going to take that Z to the corner. That would normally be a fade on Y cross, but because he's going to compress that, it would be a corner. We're going to clear out post with the Y, and then I'm going to bring our best receiver on a USOM route and cross him over in the formation. And so things get pretty simple now for our quarterback because he's got 6 hats accounting basically for those 6 guys. We have chipped and slowed down this guy, and then we have flooded 4 guys into the pattern over here versus really only 3 defenders, the free, the strong safety, and the corner. Now, I think there's a whole bunch of ways you can do that. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple more. I'm going to draw 4 things up for you. So that was the first one, really simple. Again, out of that squeeze set, let's use the exact same formation. Let's keep things nice and simple and standard here. Put the Z right there. Let's go under center this time. The Rams are really good at running wide zone. We are not in S2A. We are not a big wide zone team. We run it to keep people honest with our inside zone. It is not a come home to mama. It's not something that we are going to base a ton of our offense on, but we do run it. Okay. So let's say you want to run the exact same play under center. Now you can bring the Z in motion, snap that ball, let him chip. It's going to look like wide zone. Bring the tailback over, set him there, put that ball on a plate and boot back the other way. Now that Z will own the flat, and you want to run just a strong flood or sail concept. Now that guy can run the corner route. Again, he would have been a fade before you jump into compress sets. We can sort of almost block down with the H and bring him back and then use the tight end as the clear out, what we call an upright route. So now I can get back to my strong 3-level flood concept and boot off of that under center and in the gun. I think that's another great thing the Rams do. They utilize both under center and shotgun sets, and they change the launch point, right? They'll boot, they'll half boot, they'll set up in the pocket. I think those are all applicable and adaptable skills that the average high school offense can utilize. All right. Now, another set that I think you can use a ton, and I think the Rams use a ton, and I think that probably more high school offenses should probably implement, is what I would call squeeze bunch. So again, there's my H receiver, there's my Z, there's my X. We're in what we call squeeze bunch right there. All right. Now, again, for the purpose of simplicity, I'm going to keep us in that same 8-man front. I think you could probably make the case they may jump out of that at this point, may do some other things. But we said at the beginning, we're going to keep that thing really structured, really simple, not going to get too far off the reservation right there. So I love this set. We call this rock left, and then we call squeeze right. So anytime we squeeze, normally our X would be on the ball and our H and Z would be off in trips right there, nub trips. But when I call squeeze, it squeezes everybody in. We get really tight to the box, and we can do it a couple different ways. Sometimes the tight end's a part of that. Sometimes, the 3 receivers are a part of that. What I love about this is now you can get into some true 7-man play action and take some shot plays right here. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we will set the offensive line over so that, again, it looks like wide zone. We'll make a call that will attach the Z. So we'll go ahead and put the Z and just dig out that defensive end and put a little hat on him, and we will ride the ball. Again, this is influenced by the Rams, but you're getting the S2A version of it. I'm going to fake over that ball, and then I'm going to tell our back to bend back and help that Z receiver, because I think it's going to be a huge mismatch with our Z receiver trying to block their defensive end. Now, at the high school level, I think you can get away with that if you tell that running back to peel back late and give an extra hat to help. In the NFL, that's probably not a thing, asking a receiver to do much on a pocket pass against a DN. Now we can drop straight back, and you can see the ubiquitous Yankee concept that so many NFL teams have made popular. You can take that X to the post, go ahead and take him deep all the way over. Now our H can come and chip that defensive end and get a third hat on him, or come across and run that little pivot back to the flat, and then what we call the clover or the deep over route. And you're running a 7-man protection with 3 guys out in the route. But again, remember, my H is my guy. I ran him on the USOM route or the over route earlier. Now I'm running him on a pivot, and I'm getting him on strong safeties and linebackers. This is going to be a heavy, heavy run emphasized set. It's going to look like we're running the football. You've got all 11 guys in the box, and then you're taking these massive 3 receiver route vertical shots, or just checking the ball to your H, your slot guy in the flat. So I think that's a really underutilized yet simple, deep vertical play action pass. If you're looking for information on the Yankee concept, just Google NFL Yankee pass concept. You'll see stuff out there. Obviously, most of you probably don't know all about that, but just kind of a big play action 3-level flood concept. I really like it. I think it's something that we'll utilize a little bit more this fall. We have a quarterback New quarterback's going to be a starter for us, got a pretty good arm, and we've got a couple guys we want to get the ball and push it downfield a little bit and take some shots. So, that's number 3 of our 4 plays here. To kind of use that same set, let's jump right back into that play action world. That's really what we're talking about. If you want to talk about the Rams' run game, obviously big wide zone team, they do some other things, but I really think there's so many cool things you can do with these sets that they've made popular that maybe people have not quite thought about yet. And so again, let's get back in that same, we'll get in an over front here, put all these guys down here. I think you've just got to, people ask me all the time, they say, well, how does that pass play work if you get X and such set? And I'm like, well, we don't run it. And they'll say, well, why don't you run it? I'm like, well, if they're in too high and they're in quarters, why are you throwing a 3-man play action? It's not going to probably work unless they're just awful. It's not going to work. Run the football until they put that 8th hat down in the box and then throw play action, right? That's fairly simple. Now, we will run out of this rock bunch set. We will run to the tight end and we will run away from the tight end. If you're in pistol, you can disguise a little bit more. We're more of a sidecar team, so you can really just kind of play the game however you want. So one more sort of play action that we'll have is a little naked concept. We'll bring the back across and we'll set all 5 hats over, and then we'll travel the Z over and chip and go to the flat late, and we'll let the Y inside release and take that thing vertical to the corner. Okay, so one more way to get to Y cross. Now our X is the upright runner. He's that vertical shot guy going over the top. And now my H can run that USOM and bend through and show up late in that progression. So just another way you can get the ball. If you've got one really good receiver, that's a way to kind of utilize him, all off of things that the Rams are doing. I think that the Super Bowl is going to be a fun matchup between the Bengals and the Rams. I think it's going to be a buffet of offensive production. Let's hope. I'm an offensive guy, so let's hope it's a fun one. We don't want a 13-3 game if we're for us offensive guys. I'm sure some of the defensive guys would flip the script the other way. Obviously, both those defenses are well coached as well. But the goal of this video is not to say, hey, S2A is the Rams offense. We're far from it. But I think there's some really cool things when you watch NFL film that you can take and translate back to the high school game and make it really, really applicable and useful for what we're trying to do in the high school game. So that's what these 4 plays were. Hopefully these are useful for you, coaches. I hope this video just kind of opens your mind up and gives you some imaginative places you can go and some things you could play with. And hopefully as you watch the Super Bowl, you got your notepad out and you can grab a few more. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and also subscribe to the Surface to Air System channel on YouTube. If you have any questions, put them in the comments section. Love to interact with you online. Also, if you'd like to reach out on social media, we can be found at Coach Hargitt, or you can find the Surface to Air System at S2A System. That's their Twitter account. Or just go to our website and go to www.surfacetoairsystem.com. Look forward to chatting with you again in the future, and thanks a lot. Have a great day and enjoy the Super Bowl, coaches.